Interstate 285 is an interstate highway loop encircling Atlanta, Georgia, for 63.98 miles. I-285 is also on signed State Route 407, and is colloquially referred to as the perimeter. Suburban sprawl has made it one of the most heavily traveled roadways in the United States, and portions of the highway slow, sometimes to a crawl, during rush hour. It is also signed as Atlanta Bypass on Interstate 75 and Interstate 85. It is estimated that more than 2 million people use the highway each day, making it by far the busiest interstate in the Atlanta metropolitan area. Route description: it is 8 to 12 lanes wide, with the northern part from I-75 to Georgia 400 to I-85 the most heavily traveled. One segment of the highway near Spaghetti Junction with Interstate 85 widens to 18 lanes, including collector-distributor lanes. Exits are numbered clockwise, starting at the southwesternmost point at I-85, and ending just east of there where it meets I-85 again near Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. Between I-85 and I-20 in southwest Fulton County, I-285 is designated as the Bob A. Holmes Freeway, where I-285 heads north, and as an interchange with the Langford Parkway. Between I-20 in northwest Atlanta and I-75 near Cumberland Mall, it is designated as James E. Billy McKinney Highway as it continues north, and starts to curve to the east just west of the I-75 interchange. The northern portion of I-285, east of the Cobb Cloverleaf to Spaghetti Junction, is frequently referred to as the top-end perimeter. This section, which includes an interchange with Georgia 400 at exit 27, is one of the busiest freeways in the United States, handling about 250,000 cars per day and crossing through 3 counties. Through that stretch, the freeway expands from 6 or 8 lanes to between 10 and 14 lanes. Much of Atlanta's high-end commercial real estate has developed along I-285, particularly at the northwestern I-75 and the Georgia 400 junctions. Notable buildings include the 35-story King and Queen Towers in the Perimeter Center Business District and the Cobb Galleria Complex in the Cumberland Galleria area. East of the Spaghetti Junction, I-285's direction switches from east to south, as it connects with the Stone Mountain Freeway at exit 39, and intersects with I-20 at exit 46, where I-285 starts to curve towards the southwest. At exit 52, it intersects with Interstate 675, and heads straight west after the intersection with I-75 near the Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. A portion of the section between I-75 and I-85 on the south side of I-285 has been bridged with a new runway and taxiway of Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, one of only 2 interstates in the nation to have an underpass beneath a runway. Computer animations were developed prior to construction to simulate a jumbo jet touching down on the runway from a driver's perspective. The entire highway within the tunnels is outfitted with stopped vehicle sensors and fire detectors. 2 electronic signs on either side of the tunnels can warn drivers if the tunnel is closed in an emergency. For 1.21 miles in the southwest corner, I-85 occupies the median of I-285. Yet the roadways remain separate. Heavy trucks traveling through Atlanta are required to bypass the city on I-285, as there is a well-signed and heavily enforced ban on through truck traffic along I-75, I-85, I-20, Georgia 400, and many other major Atlanta thoroughfares. As with highways just outside I-285, trucks are also prohibited from the far left 1 or 2 lanes. The complete circumference of I-285 is covered by Georgia Navigator, Georgia's intelligent transportation system. 153 CCTV traffic cameras, 26 electronic message signs and traffic detection sensors have been installed in phases between 1999 and 2010 by Georgia DOT. Additionally, ramp meters are present at nearly all entrance ramps onto I-285. With the exception of the southeast section of I-285 and the major freeway-to-freeway connection ramps. To many residents of Atlanta, the perimeter defines a useful boundary to separate Metro Atlanta's core from its surrounding suburbs. People distinguish a location as being inside or outside the perimeter, sometimes abbreviated as ITP and OTP, a recent local neologism. This was also the rough boundary chosen by Bell South for separating landline telephone exchanges in suburban area code 770 from the existing area code 404 in 1995. History: I-285 was opened on October 15, 1969 at a cost of $90 million, as a 4-lane freeway throughout. The reconstruction of I-285, particularly on the top end and the Spaghetti Junction reconfiguration, has cost about $355 million. Until 2000, the state of Georgia used the sequential interchange numbering system on all of its interstate highways. The first exit on each highway began with the number 1, and increased numerically with each exit. In 2000, the Georgia Department of Transportation switched to a mileage-based exit system, in which the exit number corresponded to the nearest milepost. Georgia DOT voted in September 2012 to raise the speed limit from 55 miles per hour to 65 miles per hour on the entire freeway, and by 2013 to install electronic signs for variable speed limits north of I-20, to lower the speed limit when traffic or weather conditions warrant. This is intended to keep traffic moving at a reduced but steady speed, rather than suddenly braking drivers causing traffic to clot simply because other drivers are also braking. Future: since the 1970s, the Georgia Department of Transportation has planned an outer loop, which would be a roughly 230-mile circumferential loop around metropolitan Atlanta. Under Governor Sonny Perdue, the plans were dropped from the Regional Transportation Plan, in favor of the expansion of the rural state road network outside of Atlanta. The state still retains ownership of most of the land that would be needed to complete at least the northern section of the outer loop, known as the Northern Arcade. As of 2007, ideas have been considered to build that highway even further north, through areas that are still rural. The I-285 and Georgia 400 interchange is slated to be reconfigured with collector-distributor roads along Georgia 400 and a complete full-stack interchange that will make it the largest freeway interchange east of Los Angeles. The new interchange is expected to be able to handle around 300,000 cars per day. Feasibility studies have been completed, and it is in Atlanta's 2025 Regional Transportation Plan. On July 31, 2012, metro area voters rejected the T-SPLOST Comprehensive Transportation Plan that was to be funded by an additional 1% sales tax over a 10-year period. Among the projects included in the plan was a new exit on I-285 at Greenbrier Parkway on the southwest side of Atlanta, as well as major reconstruction of interchanges at exits 27, 10 and 33. Exit list: the following exits are listed clockwise from the southwest, going south to north, west to east, north to south and east to west. An exception is that heading anti-clockwise, exit 33 comes before exit 34. In popular culture, Atlanta Braves pitcher Pascual Park Rez became widely associated with I-285 after he got lost on it while trying to drive to a game. On August 19, 1982, Perez, who had just received his first U.S. driver's license, decided to drive himself to Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, where he was scheduled to start that evening's game against the Montreal Expos. He was unable to find the proper exit and circled the city several times before running out of gas and calling for help. When Park Rez failed to arrive at the stadium by game time, the Braves called upon veteran pitcher Phil Niekro to make the emergency start. The Braves, who had been mired in a 2-19 slump, won the game, kicking off a 13-2 winning streak which carried the team to the National League West Division title. The team subsequently made for Park Rez a warm-up jacket with the notation I-285 in place of his uniform number. The humor of the incident was credited for helping to improve the morale of the team and break the losing streak. South Park episode Goobacks features I-285 as the location of the time portal. The interstate sign for I-285 North is shown multiple times as the time travelers appear. See also, U.S. Roads Portal, Georgia Portal, Atlanta Portal. References. External links. Interstate 285, Revive 285 Top End.